If you're a Black woman in the tech industry or you're thinking of becoming a Black woman in the tech industry, this video is for you, my friend. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and I am an engineer in the tech industry, and I have been for the past 14 years. And there's a lot of stuff that I have learned the hard way that I wish I would have known when I was first starting out, finding my way, and just wish I would have just kind of paid attention to. And so I'm going to share those with you today in this video. So if you're curious about some things that you can learn from me, grab a drink and let's talk about it. Also, let me know in the comments which one kind of like resonates with you, which one speaks to you more, or if there's anything in particular that you really wish someone would have kind of warned you about as a Black woman in the tech industry. Let's have a conversation about it. Okay, so the first one is I wish someone would have told me about mastering the long game in the tech industry. And in particular, what I mean by that is like how to make it long term and like how to grow in your career and how it's not always just linear. So in most instances, when anyone talks about career growth, they're talking about you work your way up to become a manager, a director, a C-suite, a CEO, a boss chick, whatever. That was something that I thought I also wanted to do and needed to do to be successful, to have a good income and all of those things. And I'm going to tell you that is not the case. It is 100% possible to have a very successful career, to have a really great income, and to not have to be a boss chick or not have to be a manager or to not have to direct or lead people. You could be an individual contributor, do things behind the scenes, and not have to put yourself in such a leadership level. The path to success is not always climbing up a ladder, and the path to success is not always meaning you are a manager of people. Some people really just don't want to manage people. I am one of those people. I thought I wanted to be a manager, and then I got a little glimpse into what it was like to be a lead. I don't do well with people management, and that's okay. But I've still made incredible career moves as well as worked at some great companies and had great income as an individual contributor, which means I just work and I don't necessarily have anyone reporting to me. And I definitely don't want people to think that like you have to become, a manager, you have to become an entrepreneur, you have to have your own business, start your own company to like be considered successful. Success is ultimately defined by you. So it's good to think about what does success mean to you. Maybe it's a certain income level, maybe it's a certain title, maybe it's a certain way that you contribute, maybe it's a certain industry, but know that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a manager of people and you have to run things to be successful and to make it long term in the tech industry or to have a tech career. And speaking of success, there's something more valuable than just the hard technical skills when it comes to success, and that is soft skills will get you so much further than you think they will. Being polite, being communicative, being someone that people can have a discourse with, someone that takes feedback and criticism well, and someone that just overall in general, their peers and their managers would say they are a good person to work with and an enjoyable person to work with, will open up so many doors and opportunities for you than just being good on paper. How well you're going to get along with people that you're going to be working with on your team, how well someone's going to work with management, customers, clients is very, very important, because oftentimes, especially as someone, if you're on like a technical team, you're going to face some really difficult times where things are broken. You're going to have late hours. You're going to be scrutinized maybe a bit more for your ability to fix problems or build for problems. And if you cannot accept feedback that comes along with that to make sure that you're doing a good job, or if you can't weather the storm with your teammates when things get really rough and you're very defensive or argumentative, or you're just in general not a team player, companies will look at that as they are not someone that we'd want to promote, or someone we'd want to move to a particular project, or someone we'd want to pair with this type of program. On the inverse, if you're someone that people can vouch for and someone that people enjoy working with, people and companies a lot of the times will be more likely to take a chance on you, even if you don't qualify on paper. I know that's a lot of word salad right there. What I'm saying is you can be not as smart and not know something, but knock it out of the park because people enjoy working with you and you show potential. Whereas you could be as smart as you want on paper and be the smartest person in the room, but if no one likes you and no one likes working with you, that's gonna shut more doors than it will open doors in the inverse. So learn how to be nice, approachable, blend in with the team, get along. Not saying you got to be best friends with people, but people definitely have to enjoy working with you, because if they don't, more doors will close. And if people enjoy working with you and you like maybe need a hand, they'll be more likely to want to help you or move you to different projects or different companies or whatever. That's something else that I wish I was told and kind of had to figure out the hard way, is that you won't always have a mentor. You will not always have someone looking out for you to help grow you and groom you for a position, and that's okay. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, and you cannot expect companies to have a plan for you, because I will tell you, there's a lot of companies out there, even really big ones, where they have no employee like growth plan, development plan, steps on how to get to the next level, steps on how to get a pay raise, like those kinds of things. Some companies have them and it's great and they don't follow them. Some companies, like I said, don't have them at all. Some companies, you're gonna have a really bad manager and they're not good at figuring out how to tap into your strengths and help improve your weaknesses. There are times where you're gonna have to figure stuff out for yourself and figure out where you wanna go and try and figure out like, how are you gonna get there? An example of that is, apparently, when I first started out in tech at EA as a video game company, I set out to say, I wanna make $100,000 in X amount of years. Like that was a goal apparently that I set. I don't even remember setting that goal, but one of my friends told me that and I was like, that sounds like something I would say. And so when I set that goal for myself, I said, well, what do I have to do to make that kind of money? What do I have to know? What do I have to improve on to get there? And those are things that you maybe would expect a mentor to kind of help you guide and map out. But again, I've bounced around companies and I didn't always have someone to help me do that. And I wouldn't necessarily expect like a mentor to like have a detailed plan for how to get me from plan A to plan B, because that is ultimately, I hold all those cards. Know that you need to be your own mentor. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. You also, in a way, should also be your biggest critic and know where your weaknesses and faults are and actively make plans on how to improve those. Because if you are keeping track of all of that, there's nothing a mentor can't tell you. Well, I guess there's some things, but there shouldn't be anything that a mentor would tell you that would be shocking to you that you wouldn't already know about yourself. And so if you're constantly improving yourself and working on yourself, that will help you achieve your career goals without having to rely on a company or another person to help you get there. You should be learning even though no one else is watching you. The other thing I wish someone would have told me is that I need to learn to say no, and I will learn to say no eventually. It can be really easy when you're starting off in your career or you're starting off at a company and you say yes to everything because you wanna be the person that is working harder than everyone else. You wanna stay later. You want to take on the hard projects no one else wants. You want to come up with the ideas. And that's a surefire way to burn yourself out. In the beginning, you will say yes to everything, but you will eventually learn to say no. You'll say no to projects. You'll say no to bad ideas. You'll say no to joining certain organizations because you're the only person that fits into that organization's qualifiers. And eventually, you might learn to say no to companies entirely. And these are all things that you will learn over time and you'll get more comfortable doing, and it will protect your peace, your sanity, and all the other things that come along with setting boundaries. And also when it comes to setting boundaries and saying no, know that you can advocate for yourself and diversity without being the face of diversity and without carrying the whole diversity load on your shoulders. And what I mean by that is you may notice there's not a lot of Black women in the tech industry in general, especially when it comes to like engineers. And some companies, there might not be any Black women at all, and you might be the only one. You might be the only Black person at an entire company. And you do not have to be the face of Black people at that company and speak up for all Black issues, if that makes sense. You don't have to be the person to organize Black History Month events, and you don't have to be the person to always talk about the disparities. You can advocate for more diversity at the company or in the policies or maybe in the product that you're working on in general, but you don't have to carry that entire load. You can say, hey, HR, I would love it if we had a little bit more shades of brown in this office or on this employee page. This is how I feel about it. here's some ways that I think we could go about recruiting more and put that ball in their court. Because honestly, that's kind of the ball that needs to be in their court, and it doesn't need to be on you. So maybe you have like an events person at your job. It's their responsibility to organize events for Black History Month. Or maybe it's not even Black History Month, and there could be like a fun trivia night focused on like African American history people didn't know about. You don't have to be the person to put that on. It could be someone else's role and responsibility. I say all that to say, like, you can protect your energy and your stress and not feel like you have to carry the torch for all Black women, for all women, or Black people in general at your job. But you can also, again, speak up, speak your mind, and advocate for more diversity. But you don't have to do it alone and carry that burden on your back, because it will burn you out. And you probably have enough work to do as it is. And then the last thing that I wish someone would have told me, aside from flat ironing my hair, is that learn to know your worth. And I'm talking about money. Historically, women do not negotiate. Black women, I don't know the statistics on it, but I probably wager that we also don't negotiate. I think it took me 5 years into my career before I started negotiating my salary. 5 years? It was longer than that. I think it was 8 years. It took me 8 years before I started negotiating my salary, which is way too late in the game, and I should have been negotiating way sooner. Actually, that's not true. I negotiated for a raise with the company previously. But I say all that to say, learn how to negotiate your salary. Companies come in with a salary. They want you to think it's their maximum. And most of the time it's not their maximum. They can go above it. The companies are expecting you to negotiate, but companies are also trying to get as little money out of you as they can, or they're trying to pay you as little as they can, right? So, because they want to save money. And if they can get you to do the same role for less money, like, yeah, instead of 150, we're going to pay you 120. But like, really, they're like, we were thinking 140. They're going to see if you're going to come up to 140. So learn how to negotiate. There's a ton of resources on negotiation. There's interview.io. Oh, there's another one for helping negotiate. Gosh, I don't remember what it is. Levels.fyi. And just kind of there's crowdsourcing in general. Glassdoor is another one. It'll give you like averages for like certain salaries and positions and years and experience. But like, learn how to negotiate. You will feel so much better and have less resentment going into a job if you at least try to negotiate. And the worst they'll say is no. And if they really, really want you and they can make it work, they'll find a way to meet you somewhere in the middle. Or you can negotiate not even just salary. You can negotiate office stipend. You can negotiate paying for your internet monthly. You can negotiate for like a snack budget. You can negotiate maternity leave. I negotiated for 4 months paid maternity leave, especially if you know you interviewed really well and you just like, you're going to kill it. Learn how to negotiate. Don't be afraid of the no. You might get a no, or you might just get, hey, this is a max we can offer, but it's worth a try, because most of the time they can at least bump it up a little bit, especially if you have the soft skills that I mentioned, right? So if you have a good network of people behind you and referrals that can vouch for you, sometimes those referrals will vouch for you and get you that negotiation. Like if you were managers previously and you built a really good relationship and you have them down as a referral and really vouches for you, like that can get you a bigger salary. Maybe even on like yearly reviews and performance reviews, if your coworkers have nothing but stellar things to say about you, it could bump you up to a whole nother level and get you a whole nother salary you can negotiate for. Like the soft skills combined with the hard skills, but also knowing where you're at and what you bring to the table will help you feel a lot more confident in the salary that you're making. One other thing about stress that I wanted to mention, learn to take care of your mind and body. It can be really, really easy to burn yourself out trying to climb that ladder, trying to be the good performer, trying to be the good employee, trying to carry the load. And part of taking care of yourself is physically and as well as like taking supplements and meditating and things like that. And I wanted to also segue into supplements because that is an area of health that I am really, really inconsistent with and really, really need. And Black Girl Vitamins actually reached out to me and they sent me a bundle of their collagen powder, their vitamins for D3, and the hair, skin, and nail gummies. And I told y'all, I'm not good at like keeping up on supplements. And most of the time they're like nasty, but these gummies taste like candy. The hair, skin, and nail gummies At first I was on the fence about, hold on, let me go get the bottle, y'all. Hold on. These are the hair, skin, and nail vitamins that are absolutely amazing. Passion fruit flavored, enriched with vitamin D3. I didn't realize these had D3. I also have the D3 gummies that they sent. I didn't realize there's D3 in the hair, skin, and nail gummies. I'm triple dosing on the vitamin D3. I didn't realize how deficient Black women are on vitamin D3. Actually, I did. When I moved here, a doctor told me that I was very vitamin D deficient. I say that like the sun is so important for our health as Black women. And I have noticed significantly that if I don't take these vitamin D3 gummies in the morning, I feel like a sloth after lunch. I am so tired. I'm irritable. I like can't focus. And then by the time my son gets home, I'm like exhausted. And so I found that these vitamin D3 gummies really help me feel more like energized throughout the entire day. They taste amazing. These ones are peach, mango, and strawberry flavor. I haven't taken it today actually, so I'm gonna take a couple. These are what they look like here. But look at that. They are absolutely amazing. The hair, skin, and nail gummies are, like I said, passion fruit flavor, enriched with vitamin D3. These have a ton of vitamins in it, like vitamin A, C, D, E, B12, B6, zinc. Zinc is so good for if you want to fight off colds. Like anytime we start to feel like we're getting a cold, we just like pop some zinc tablets. These are just amazing. It also has collagen in it, biotin, folate. So think of prenatals. This has a lot of stuff that like prenatals will have, and prenatals are amazing. I thought these gummies were gonna be like overhyped. If I'm being completely honest, Black Girl Vitamins, please don't, Kenneth, please don't get mad at me for saying this. I thought the hair, skin, and nail gummies were gonna be like overhyped. But y'all, my nails have been so brittle. I don't get my nails done, but they have just been brittle and weak. And I have noticed, for real, my nails are stronger and they're growing and they're like healthy. My cuticles are healthy. Fam, I think this stuff actually works. And then the collagen powder, hang on. Collagen powder. I cannot wait till I get my office, y'all. It's gonna be amazing. It's the collagen powder here. And collagen powder, from what I understand, is really good for your skin and joints. And so I'm 38. We are pushing 39 this year. We're getting up there to another milestone. And so I really need this for my joints. I want my skin to just age like fine wine. And I mix this in my coffee pretty much every morning when I remember to use it. It has no taste. It mixes and melts down pretty good. The best tip I'll give you if you are gonna mix this in your coffee is to mix it in your coffee before you add your creamer, because sometimes it'll clump up. So just after your coffee's hot. I think this combined with the gummies here, y'all, my nails are popping. I'm really proud of my nails. And then, like I said, the D3 gummies have helped me feel more energized. And I honestly do notice a difference. So if you want to work on your health game and you want to feel healthy and relieve your stress or just take better care of yourself, especially if you work in a stressful company or a stressful environment, get yourself some Black Girl Vitamins, because it's legit. They do work. It's not just overhyped Instagram stuff. These actually do work. I love it when I get something and I try it and it actually does work, and I don't just feel like I'm just talking about something that's just like smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? But that being said, if you do want to check out Black Girl Vitamins, I do have a discount. I can talk today, I swear. No. With that being said, though, if you do want to check out Black Girl Vitamins, I have a discount code for you. It is Kimbuucha. If you type it into the discount code field, it'll give you a little something, something. And it'll also help me out as well. It helps support the channel and helps me make sure that I am staying up on my vitamins and taking care of myself, so I can continue to be a productive member of society and continue to make helpful videos for other Black women in the tech industry. So, all right, ladies, so that was things I wish I knew as a Black woman in the tech industry when I was first starting out. I hope these tips were helpful for you, and if they were, please let me know in the comments which tip you found most helpful. Give this video a thumbs up, and if there's any tips that someone told you or anything that you wish you would have known when you got started in the tech industry as a Black woman, share them below. It would be great to share that with other women in the industry so they can get a well-balanced viewpoint from various different women in the tech industry. I'm coming from the engineer aspect. I'm sure there's women in tech sales or leadership or, I don't know, legal, for example, maybe. I don't know. That would be great to share. So sharing is definitely helpful for all the ladies who are getting into the tech industry. And speaking of the tech industry, if you want to check out any more videos from me, feel free to check out this video that's right here on the screen about being in the tech industry. YouTube thinks that you might like this video. I also think that you might like it, and I hope it's helpful. But until my next one, I'll see you later. Bye.